It is very affordable. It is for sale on Code Canyon, and it's only $21 right now. I think that's probably the normal price of the plugin, $21. Now let's take a look at the 4 things that this is going to add to your Elementor based website. And I'll also have a link to the website down below right here, so you can go ahead and click through on these 4 really cool things that it's going to add to your Elementor interface. So first, let's take a look at them here on their demo site, and then let's go ahead and see what it looks like in the actual plugin. So first of all is Smart List. So it's really going to be Smart List, Smart Tiles, Text Ticker. I'm not really fond of text tickers, but we'll see how they implement it, and video playlists, which are really cool. So the first thing is the Smart List, and essentially it's going to allow you to take your blog content or custom post type content and present it in all of these various formats. So you kind of see a lot of this format on those heavily trafficked blog sites that might have a lot of news stories on it, or current news type of websites. That's why I keep saying this newspaper style website, but it's not just for that. It's if you want this type of format. Now, you could probably piecemeal something similar to this, but it's probably just a lot easier to use this plugin. So anyways, here we go. So it can create this right here. So this is essentially in a 3-column view, with the first column being the featured content, and you get to you're able to control how many items are in each of these columns. You can see right here there's 5. You have full control over the fonts, the colors, everything, and the different bits and pieces of data that show. So right here you see a date. You can choose to show that or not show that. And here is another version right here that is just in a column like this. So what's neat about this is you're using the same module in lots of different ways. So these modules, it's not just the one way that you can use it. You can see this is actually being used in lots of different ways. So here is a trending news. It's really beautiful, this featured post right here, and it's just a single featured post. Here's another one right here for trending news, another trending news right here, and see all these different ways that you could present the content that is on your website. All these different column formats and orientations, background colors that you can add. I really like this right here as well. It can just be there on its own. So you can create very dynamic looking pages on your website to showcase the content that is on your website. And now let's take a quick look at these smart tiles. So this is similar. It's pulling this blog post information in, or custom post types, of course, and it puts it in these beautiful tiled grids. This is actually a very common way to showcase the content on your website. Now what's really neat, and I'm going to show you, you get to choose all of the different ways that it can be organized. So right here you've got half is one image, the other half is 4 different pieces of content. So you're going to be able to have full control over that. What is shown, this little tiny gap right here in between each of these, you're going to have full control over that. What shows, and you can see how there is this change in the overlay. When I hover over the image, you can have full control over that. And the badge here, which is the category, you have full control and styling over that as well. And you can see it's format after format after format. So there's all of these options and all of these uses for this smart tile module right here. Next, we're going to take a look at the text ticker. Now, like I said a moment ago, I'm not the biggest fan of text tickers. However, and I'm probably not going to spend a ton of time actually showing you it in this video. However, here's the various formats that you can have for it. And you can see there's lots of interesting ways to do it. I guess if there was any that I liked, it would be this one right here. I like how it's not showing the featured image, because I see the featured image and I'm like, it's so small, it doesn't really bring that much value. And I guess I also like this right here, right there. So actually, I think this would be cool, and not showing different pieces of content, just showing one piece of content that you want there, because eyes are definitely going to be drawn to it like that. So this is the text ticker. And last, but certainly not least, is a very cool video playlist feature. Now, this will only work right now with YouTube and Vimeo videos. That's going to cover what most people want to use it for, but it's really nice. You actually used to use a format just like this on my website last year, and I loved it. And it's funny, when I went to stop using the theme I was using and I moved to the Astra theme, this was literally one of the features that I went to the Astra theme and I said, is there any way that you could build this for me? I like this playlist feature that much, because a lot of my video content I will release in a series, multiple videos, and I really like this grid right here, where you have the video on the left and you have a scrolling list of videos here on the right. Oops, there it is. So you can put as many videos as you want and scroll through them like that. But this is even more powerful because you have more options. So this is with the playlist here at the top, and you can scroll to the left or the right and then the video. And I'm assuming, I haven't actually checked, but I'm assuming you can also put this playlist on the bottom of the video. So that is the 4 modules it's going to add. Let's jump into the WordPress site here that I have set up for it and see what it's actually like using it. Now, I'm obviously not going to hit every little setting of it because there's a lot of settings that are available to you. So if you've used the Elementor Pro blog post module, you're going to be familiar with a lot of these controls. So essentially, you're going to have a control for everything. Now, I've already uploaded, installed, and activated the plugin. Now, one thing, and this is one thing I don't really like about the plugin, but it's not going to affect everyone. One thing it does, well, actually this is good. It puts its settings in the Elementor settings. That's actually very good. I love it when developers do that and they don't add to the clutter of WordPress. I hate when they add their settings to this main menu area here. I love that they put it in here, but this is all that you use the settings for. For the YouTube playlist feature, if you want to use YouTube videos, you have to generate a YouTube API key. And I think if I was to fault this plugin in one area or identify an area of improvement, is to either A, have documentation right here on the exact steps to follow to get an API key, because all they're doing is giving you a link. And now if you've never generated a YouTube API key, you've got to go to YouTube and do a search, or not YouTube, well, you go to YouTube or you can go to Google. Now you have to hunt down instructions on how to get the API key, when it would be more helpful if there was a link here to take you to documentation on their website on exactly how to get an API key. And it's not so simple. I mean, it could be a little technical for people, and so I think that's one area for improvement that I'd encourage the developer to make, or figure out how to not have it be dependent upon a YouTube API key. The playlist feature I was using prior did not require an API key. But anyways, I just had to throw that in. So in order to start using this, all we have to do is create a new page or go into an existing page. So I've actually started already here in this page right here. So I'm going to just go ahead and click on Edit with Elementor, and you can see I have already been using and done some mild styling of these modules. So the first thing I did take a look at was the ticker, and here is the ticker right here. Now, the 4 new modules, they're going to be found right here under Jet Elements, Smart Post Tiles, Text Ticker, and Video Playlist. So right here is our text ticker. So when I click on it, here are, I mean, it's just, you have full control over the styles of everything. Now, there are a lot of settings, so you're going to have to just play around with it a little bit to find the settings that are going to make it look exactly how you want it to look. But if you've used Elementor for any period of time, you're going to feel right at home with all of these various settings. Ah, here it is. Post number to show. So remember, I was saying I don't like text tickers, but I can see it just showing one item that you care about. And that is exactly how you would do it right there. So now I guess I could become a believer in these text tickers. You can use this to have that one piece of content that you want to draw people's eyes to and to get some attention. So that is pretty cool. Now, I guess I could see myself using a text ticker. Next, let's go ahead and take a look at this. Now, this is the tiles. And remember I was saying you have all these tile layouts here to choose from? Well, look at these. You have 9 styles. So right here, I've got the 2 on the top, the 3 on the bottom. If I wanted to go into the grid where there's just 4 and they're equal, or 3 even, or any of these formats, it is so easy. Just a mouse click and you have it right away. Now, I do want to add one piece of information. Obviously, these images, these titles, this content is being pulled from the blog. So you're going to want to use this on a blog that already has the images set as the featured images, and you've got to pay a little attention to the way the image would look in all of these various formats. So that's one thing to consider. A perfect example is, for me, on my website, all the featured images tend to be these 16:9 images, and the text is kind of important. So if you're having featured images with text on it, it's probably not ideal for this. You would want to use featured images where there isn't some specific piece of or part of the image that cannot be cut off. So the YouTube thumbnails that I prepare probably wouldn't be a good idea for this. So you see here how all of these images, they look fantastic, and that's because there isn't text on it or something like that, that if it gets chopped off, you kind of lose the meaning of the image. So we have full styling here, and I actually did some styling. I styled the background here white, I made the font black, and I made these 2 fonts here white. Now, I did play with the line height here. You get all the different font options. This was what the line height was right here. And if you noticed, I actually darkened it up a little bit. And so let me actually just show you how to do that real quick. I did that, I believe it was style, and right here it was box overlay. So let me show you what this looks like without the box overlay. So here's my color. Let me make it fully transparent. And this is just what it looked like out of the box. It looks great, but it's really hard to read the text. So that's why I wanted to have a slight overlay on top of all these images to make it easier to actually read the text. And so I went for a color. I chose black, and this is full black. Obviously, that's not what you would want, but when you start dialing this down, you can see it's obviously now a lot easier to read. So the real benefit here is you can actually use all of these Elementor controls that you're already comfortable and familiar with. If you wanted to put a gradient on here, you could put a gradient on here. There's the option right there. If you wanted to change what happens in the hover state, that's when the mouse cursor goes over to add a little bit of movement. You could do that as well. This is one of the things I like about having this kind of functionality integrated into Elementor, is because you get access to all of the Elementor controls that you're already familiar with using. So I like this. Another feature that I thought was really cool was right here. Okay, so you can set the minimum height. So by default, it was a little kind of tight like that, but if I wanted to, I can make this as tall as I want to make it. And you can manipulate everything. The main box width, that's this right here, it's set to 50. I could reduce it like that. You have all of these settings. It's just pretty fantastic. Of course, you can also specify what information you want in there, what blog post, and you could do that based upon these categories, or you could switch it to tags. And if you scroll all the way down here, this will also work with custom fields. You can see this right here. Now, you have full control over the way this looks. I like it a lot, but there was actually one thing I wanted to show you, and I think it was right here in the style. Okay, the box. Here it is, the gap between the boxes. So right now I have it set to 1 pixel. That's why you see that slight white line, but I can go like that and it goes away, or I can make it thicker. So however you want it for your style, you have these styling options right here that are pretty in depth. So this right here is the Smart Post tiles. Now, I think the module that I think is the most useful is going to be, well, they're all useful. Maybe the ticker, maybe a little less, unless you have it just do one. But it's going to be this Smart Post list. This is very, very flexible. So we saw on their website right here, the Smart List, actually right here, all of these different formats for it. And you have all of these wonderful format options right here. So right now I just have it where it's showing the big image there. So this is where you got to be a little careful with the images with a tool like this. You want images that you know are going to look good at a larger format. I probably just need to shrink this down. So something like this, shrink it on down a bit. You can see I've already changed the way this looks and it's already looking a bit better. So there we go. Maybe add 2 columns of information here so this image right here won't look so bad. Obviously I'd want to change the colors of these fonts to make it stand out a little bit. Oh, maybe this is it. Featured post image size. I need to set that to full. See, there's all these options, and you can see I just got myself into a little trouble with the option. So it's right there. You can even have an excerpt of some of your text if you wanted it there, something to intrigue someone's curiosity, to get them to go ahead and click on into that and read your content. So here's where you have control over the meta. It's the same thing as before. I usually don't like to show the author because it's usually just me. For the date, I actually don't even like to show the date, so I usually turn that off as well. Comments, you can turn comments off as well, and you see all the meta just kind of disappeared right there. And there's just lots of options here. If I go to style, now this is where you can see as I scroll down, there's a lot of options for the styling. I guess the way I would recommend using this is, especially if you had Elementor Pro, would be to drag one in there, get some of your core styling right, the fonts and the colors, how you want it to look, and then save that module so that you can easily reuse it over and over again and on other parts of your blog. If you don't have Elementor Pro, go into your Elementor library, create a new page in your Elementor library, and that's where you can put this kind of core already styled version of the Smart Post list. But you've got tons of options here. Lastly, right here we have the playlist. Now you can see, I think I put a couple videos in. I think this video is doing that because I don't have the API key. I didn't put that in, and that's because I didn't want to stop and do the research to find a tutorial on how to get that. So I think if they can make that process easier, it'll reduce the friction. But let me go ahead and click in here. It's super easy to populate this. So right here, you just pop in your content. So you can click on add new item, and then when you click here, just give it a title, pop in a URL, YouTube or Vimeo only, and it's just going to keep adding to it. And you can also duplicate if that was what you wanted to do. I didn't actually look at the settings here. This is actually good because you'll want to manipulate this to look exactly how you want it. And then we have styling settings up here as well. This is actually a super useful feature if you have videos that you want to display on your website that you store on YouTube or store on Vimeo. To have a custom branded kind of experience, you can make yours look like yours only. Make it look unique to your brand and display those videos as best as possible. I think this would be great for people that have video portfolios or create video series. There's a lot of really good uses for this, and I can think of some projects that I have done for other people that I've been paid for where this would have been made my life so much easier. It's pretty good. So anyways, this has been a review and a walkthrough of JetBlog. You can get it on Code Canyon for the $21, and it's pretty good. I think if you want the style of what this gives to you to have the flexibility on your website, this is your best option to just spend a little bit of money and buy it. I mean, you can really now use Elementor in conjunction with this in order to create beautiful newspaper style websites and really present your content, your blog content or custom post content in a very attractive way that gets people wanting to click. Images work. So anyways, if you're using JetBlog, let me know what you think about it in the video comment section down below. Thank you for watching this video. I'm going to have some more Elementor add-on plugin reviews coming very soon. Hey, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.